Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is under FBI investigation. That is the topic of today's op-ed live. So the New York Post came out just 30 minutes ago that Ghislaine Maxwell, the British socialite who's long been accused of serving as Jeffrey Epstein's madam, is under investigation by the FBI, according to a new report. So several other people who facilitated the dead pedophile's alleged sexual abuse are also being probed, but Maxwell is the main focus. Two sources familiar with the investigation told Reuters. So you might already know the lady named Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Virginia Roberts Giuffre. She was a whistleblower of this whole thing. And she said that she learned these sexual techniques while massaging Jeffrey Epstein while he was alive from her. It was Ghislaine Maxwell. So she was the intermediary of trafficking all the young girls, as young as like 11 years old, 12 years old, 13. And it's all going to blow up. I think a lot of politicians are involved. I think Prince Andrew, he was involved. Virginia Roberts, she said that she personally had sex with him. I don't see any reason why she will lie about that. It seems all the circumstantial evidence dictates that he pretty much, had sex with her while she was a minor, when she was only 17 years old. So, and many people, they don't want to talk about like Pizzagate and stuff like that. Even Fox News dismiss it. I think it's probably because of their sponsors. I don't know. But if you look at the WikiLeaks contents, it feels like there's a lot of connections with Epstein scandal too. That's how I see it. That's why the Democratic Party and the mainstream media came up. They concocted this whole Russia collusion thing. And they were so angry that those contents went out. What were the contents in the WikiLeaks? It was about the kids, right? The kids are ready for your entertainment. I can't exactly remember the age of the kids, like 5, 7, and 8. I don't know. When you have that much evidence and facts backing you up, you can't dismiss it as a conspiracy theory. You just can't do that, Or you're together with cahoots, with the cabal, the deep state. It seems like there has been so many pedophiles in politics, and probably in the business community too. So the Post continues, one of the sources said the probe is in its early stages and that the FBI is following up with leads it's received from women who claim to have been victimized by Epstein. The FBI currently has no plans to interview Prince Andrew, who's been accused of having sex with one of Epstein's most vocal accusers, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, the one that I just talked about. This picture is very old, so she looks a little bit different now. I don't know whether you guys remember it, but there was a picture of her eating In-N-Out hamburger right after Jeffrey Epstein got arrested. And many people believe that he did not commit suicide, that it was a homicide. Somebody broke into jail and killed him. The CCTV, the video camera, was broken. Did not work properly at that time when he was killed or commit suicide. And the two guards fell asleep. They were doing what? Were they shopping on Amazon? It's just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous, and it seems like the deep state want to brainwash people to believe their narrative. I do not believe that he committed suicide. I don't. Just imagine how insane the mainstream media and the Democratic Party wanted to brainwash Americans out there for the past 3-4 years about the Russia collusion hoax. That is a conspiracy theory, okay? Just because the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN concoct it and push it through all the time to American people, that does not mean that it's the truth and fact, okay? That is conspiracy theory. The Russia collusion is a conspiracy theory based on a phony, false, fake dossier, right? So whenever the mainstream media accuses a story that is a conspiracy theory, I bet it's the truth. I really bet it. You know, if I go to Las Vegas, I would bet my money there that it might be the truth. Okay. Even with John Durham and William Barr trying to find out who was behind this whole fabrication, now the mainstream media is saying that they are acting as Trump's personal lawyer and they're the conspiracy theorists. It's just insane what's going on in America right now. But I think Trump is correcting the course. I think William Barr is a righteous person. John Durham is a righteous person. And he's going to get to the bottom of it. I think he is in the process of getting to the bottom of it. You see these Democrat lunatics. Some of them, you know, they want John Durham to resign, William Barr to resign, recuse themselves. Why do they? Why do they have to recuse themselves when they're trying to find the truth? It's because they're scared. They were probably behind all this scheme. You know. And if they want to claim that Pizzagate is fake, then please, I want to hear a reasonable answer about it. I really do. You can't just throw the word, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Be specific and explain why you believe that it's a conspiracy theory, why you believe William Barr and John Durham is being Trump's personal lawyer and being a conspiracy theory on the other side. I'm willing to hear it. I'm willing to hear it out. Okay. The disgraced royal was forced to step down from public duties in November following his train wreck interview in which he apologized for his ill-judged association with the multimillionaire. I'm talking about Prince Andrew. Epstein, he was 66 years old when he committed suicide at a Manhattan jail in August, a month after he was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges alleging that he abused girls as young as 14 for years. An FBI spokeswoman declined to comment to Reuters. It seems like Reuters was the one who broke the story today about Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, being under federal investigation. Lawyers for Maxwell, who has not been criminally charged, did not respond to a request for comment. Okay. Maxwell is the daughter of the late media titan Robert Maxwell. Okay. Yeah, I just want to tell our viewers that, you know, whenever the mainstream media, especially the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN, and LA Times, when they run around and saying, oh, this is a conspiracy theory, always check and believe that conspiracy theory. I would go as far as to say that, you know. Now they're saying, like, I mean, whenever they say QAnon is conspiracy theory, Pizzagate's conspiracy theory, whatever that can hurt them, that hurt their narrative, and they claim that it's a conspiracy theory, you should tell yourselves that, oh, there might be a very high chance that whatever they claim that it's a conspiracy theory might be the truth. You know, it might be the truth. You know, they keep on saying, oh, Seth Rich, you know, being dead, oh, that's also a conspiracy theory. Really? Really? When WikiLeaks put a $25,000 reward on their website, whoever finds out any information about Seth Rich's death in Washington, D.C., you're claiming that is a conspiracy theory? While you guys, the mainstream media especially, believe Christopher Steele, who brought this fake dossier that Trump somehow, back in 2013, bought 2 prostitutes and do some crazy stuff on a bed, they want us to believe that, huh? It's just ridiculous. I mean, the mainstream media, the journalism is dead, I think, in America. In the most part. There are some truth tellers out there too, but I think we're really outnumbered by these fake news people. And it's a shame. But I'm still amazed that there are so many Americans who, you know, they don't get deceived by the mainstream media like they used to anymore. There has been a poll by Gallup that 6 out of 10 Americans do not believe the mainstream media. And I think that's a good thing. That's really a positive thing. You know, I met with a New York Times former editor a couple of years ago, and I was so shocked that he was just living in that New York Times and the mainstream media narrative bubble. And he wasn't even aware of what the Fox News, or Breitbart or Daily Caller, these conservative outlets were reporting out there. At least I would say the conservatives, they do know what the mainstream media are reporting. But the other side, the mainstream media people, the journalists there, they don't know. They don't know the content of even what Fox News is reporting out there. Probably it disrupts their belief. They don't want to face the facts. But I believe John Durham, he's getting to the bottom of this whole thing, and I do believe he's going to press charges. I think that John Brennan right now, CIA director, the former CIA director, he's freaking out. I think James Comey's freaking out. James Clapper, I believe, is freaking out. And he's going to get to the bottom of it. And I hope that he does find the truth about this whole thing. I want to know who concocted this whole collusion, ridiculous narrative. Okay, let's check out some news headlines and Twitter feed. Trump tweeted this. Thank you, Richie, because Richie tweeted, when I came out of the closet in 2015 and supported Trump, I lost 90% of my friends of color. More than half of them are back and are supporting POTUS, 100%. Let's move on. Melissa A. tweeted this. Yep, it's true. Black folks are waking up and it's driving Democrats crazy. That's why they want Trump impeached. Dems need 93% of the black vote to win elections. If Trump just shaves off 10%, the Dems are toast. Let's move on. Okay, this is an opinion piece. I'm sorry about the Korean language. That was my Korean show last night, but I'm just using the same tweet. Okay, new polls show black support for Trump surging. The most recent one, I think it was from Marist, he hit 35% among the blacks. I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 50%, because he's doing a tremendous job to the black community. If you look at the unemployment rate, it's the lowest ever, despite what the mainstream media is trying to put out there. Let's move on. Trump War Room tweeted this. Watch, Franklin Graham says President Trump has done so much for our country. His father, Billy Graham, would be very disappointed with the magazine he started in 1956, Christianity Today, falling in step with the leftist agenda, because Christianity Today's, I think he's now fired, or the editor there, he wrote an opinion piece of supporting Trump's impeachment. That's a disgrace. Okay, let's move on. Trump stock market rally is far outpacing past United States presidents. Let's move on. Trump tweeted this. I guess Justin T meaning Justin Trudeau from Canada, Prime Minister, I guess Justin T doesn't much like my making him pay up on NATO or trade. He was tweeting for Fox 13 Tampa Bay, because Fox 13 Tampa Bay tweeted this. President Trump's cameo in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, was reportedly cut from showings of the movie on Canadian broadcast. The network says it was to make room for commercials. That's BS. They just wanted to, they just did not want to show Trump. He comes out 7 seconds for Home Alone 2, Lost in New York movie, and I'm not sure whether Justin Trudeau has something to do with it, but that's just what it is. Let's move on. Trump tweeted this. California leads the nation by far in both the number of homeless people and the percentage increase in the homeless population. Two terrible stats. Crazy Nancy should focus on that in her very down district and helping her incompetent governor with the big homeless problem. Incompetent governor, meaning Gavin Newsom here, I guess. Let's move on. Trump tweeted this. NASDAQ hits 9,000 for first time ever. A UPI article, stocks surged higher as a year-end rally stoked by bullish economic news pushed the NASDAQ to 9,000 for the first time. Remember when the mainstream media like New York Times and Washington Post, CNN, they were wishing for a recession so that Trump not get reelected, especially like left-wing lunatics like Bill Maher out there, the comedian. I don't know why Bill Maher is getting all the respect that he's getting from far left. He's a comedian. I mean, I'm not saying comedians are not supposed to have political opinions, but his opinions are just so BS. It's not based on facts, many of them. He doesn't try to seek the truth. I think there's a lot of fishy things going on on what he's doing. You know, if you checked out the QAnon board, some of them, you know, it implies Bill Maher, you know, being involved in some fishy stuff. I don't know, but I do know that I do know that I believe much more truth are there for QAnon posts up there rather than the mainstream media. Let's move on. Ryan Furnier tweeted this: breaking, Christopher Steele funneled his false claims through John McCain 5 separate times. McCain then gave Steele's reports to disgraced former FBI Chief James Comey. This is absolutely shameful. Let's move on. Fournier also tweeted this: in case you didn't know, President Trump signed a bill that will give members of the military their largest pay increase in 10 years. God bless this president. Let's move on. Dan Bongino tweeted this: Murkowski meaning Lisa Murkowski, from the senator from Alaska. Murkowski's treachery isn't a break in the Republican ranks, because Murkowski said that she doesn't like Mitch McConnell being in the same team with Trump, with the White House regarding the impeachment hoax. And Dan Bongino is tweeting this about her: Murkowski is now and always has been a fake Republican. Remember when Murkowski also voted against Brett Kavanaugh being confirmed as a United States Supreme Court Justice, right? She voted against. We should always remember that. I think she's a rhino. So she shares more in common with liberals than she does with Republicans. She's a fraud. Let's move on. That's what Dan Bongino tweeted. LA for Trump tweeted this, yet with a picture of Dianne Feinstein on the left, and she's talking with Lisa Murkowski. And this was during the Brett Kavanaugh hearing. You know, I don't know whether Dianne Feinstein was trying to threaten her. I don't know whether they blackmail her. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some deep state characters out there who's trying to blackmail some Republican senators so that they can get the impeachment vote, 2/3, 67 votes on the Senate side. I do not believe that that's going to happen. Actually, I believe that Democrats are moving towards the Republican side. I think Doug Jones from Alabama, I think he also said that he's going to vote against. Let me just check that now, right now. Hold on. Doug Jones. I think he didn't make a complete decision, but the Union Journal says Alabama is getting nervous on impeachment. Doug Jones says impeachment must be above electoral politics. Let's see where he goes with that, okay? Doug Jones, according to Real Clear Politics 5 days ago, Doug Jones may vote to acquit Trump if dots aren't connected during trial. There are gaps in story, so probably he might vote against it, okay? So there are people switching sides. On the Republican side, it's only Murkowski who's doing that shaky behavior. Let's move on. Okay, let's go back. I think I need to read that part. Yes, pretty amazing. She did the same with Brett Kavanaugh. What do the Democrats have on her? Okay, let's move on. Charlie Kirk tweeted this: this is your daily reminder that Barack Obama asked Ukraine to investigate his political rival's campaign manager. 3 Democrat senators asked Ukraine to investigate Trump. Did you know that Obama asked Ukraine to investigate his political rival's campaign manager, being Paul Manafort? Right? That's how Paul Manafort got pretty much fired by Trump. Because it was the Democrats, Obama asking Ukraine to investigate his political rival, being Trump, that they found out some dirt, I think some tax evasion issue about Manafort, and that's how Manafort resigned. And that is a quid pro quo right there between Barack Obama and Ukraine. How come the mainstream media is not talking about that? I really love Charlie Kirk's tweets. He really has many pithy tweets. 3 Democrat senators asked Ukraine to investigate Trump, and the DNC solicited Ukraine's help to dig up dirt on Trump. And the media was silent about all of it. Let's move on. Kirk also tweeted this: this is your daily reminder that socialist Bernie Sanders has never held a real job in his life. He ran for Senate, but lost. Ran for House of Representatives, but lost. Ran for mayor, won by only 10 votes. And he's been in politics since 1981. Yet he's somehow a multi-millionaire. Wow. How did he accumulate all that money? Let's move on. Kirk also tweeted this: gun violence in Chicago in 2019 shot and killed 452. Only this year, okay? Shot and wounded, 2,255. Can you believe that? It sounds like a war zone there, right? Total shot, 2,707. Total homicides, 504. This is in the city with the strictest gun laws in America. Probably that might be the reason, because it has the strictest gun law that whoever has guns can go rampant. We don't need gun control. We don't need gun control. We need Democrat control. That's what Kirk is saying. Let's move on. Ryan Furnier tweeted this: Dear Gavin Newsom, California's 16.4% increase in homelessness was entirely responsible for the nation's overall increase of homelessness of 2.7%. There are 151,278 homeless people in your state alone. Wow, in California, 151,000. Can you believe that? Donald J. Trump had to clean up Barack Obama's mess, and he's not afraid to clean up yours. Let's move on. Because Trump said that he will get involved with California's homelessness issue, right? Because he thinks federal government is the only way to go, because California has been so incompetent about dealing this issue. Let's move on. Mark Levin tweeted this: Delusional Chuck Todd, a propagandist who accuses his targets of his tactics. He's one of the dumbest, most craven, and most ideologically driven of the bunch. He was the one who kept pushing the whole Russia hoax for the past 3-4 years, right? You guys should all remember that, so that you can find out who are the journalists who spread fake news and who spread the truth out there, okay? In short order, he's done enormous damage to freedom of the press and the political system. Let's move on. Trump just retweeted a QAnon conspiracy theory hashtag to his 68 million followers. You know, I believe QAnon also puts false information up there, but I think that is done on purpose. I think QAnon tells a lot of truth. Actually, QAnon directs people to read certain articles that has been printed by the mainstream media too, like NBC and CNN, but that hasn't gotten a lot of traction because their websites do not put these truth nuggets on the top of their list. They don't put it on their headlines. So, you know, I would encourage people to read it, you know, check out QAnon, you know. I mean, there's a lot of truth there. And especially regarding, I think, Mike Rogers, and also the whole Christopher Steele dossier thing. QAnon has been really correct from the beginning regarding that. So you guys should all, I think, you know, I would encourage people to check it out. You know, I think, but take it with a grain of salt. You know, do not believe 100%. You know, just, you know, I think if you keep on following it, you would know which one is a truth and which one is not. I'll just say that. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right. It's about being right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.